Hey, beautiful. I see you. Hello, and welcome to the Shero Coffee Club Chat, your go to channel with meaningful topics for your life's journey. I am Melissa, and I am a retired Army veteran and founder and owner of the Shero Coffee Club, where our mission is to keep the world caffeinated and women, veterans celebrated. And I thank you for joining me today. And I know that you are armed with your cup of Shero in hand. And if you don't know where to go, check that ticker below. You see that? Or you can always go to, oh, that's the ticker. Check QR code or always go to www.sherocoffee.com. But yeah, that's the QR code and then that's the ticker. All right, we are on track now. So as always, I always ask you, how has your week been? How has your week been? But more importantly, what are you going to do to make the next week better? I think we should all take 5 minutes out of our lives to just reflect on the past week and see how we can catapult the next week forward. I think that's really important to do. So that's why I always, if you're watching this, hey, that's a great idea. Let me see how I'm going to make my week better. What has happened this past week and how can I make it better? So that's the only question that I ask. How was my week? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Well, for my faithful few, I did not record last Sunday. I didn't record an episode of Shero Coffee Club Chat because I was in Cleveland, and the intention was to go live on Sunday, where I attended the annual Women Entrepreneurs of America conference. But I didn't. So I'm here to you this Sunday saying, hey, I spent the rest of the week just closing out everything for Shero Uncorked. It is coming. Next Sunday will be Shero Uncorked from 1 to 5 p.m. And I'll tell you guys, I'm nervous. And at the same time, I'm excited. I mean, everything is pretty much done. I've done the work necessary, to make it a wonderful event. And I just want everyone to enjoy it. And that's going to be my expectation. There has not been a year that we've had Shiro Uncorked that has not been successful, even with the rain. For the past 3 years, it's been outdoors. This year, it's indoors. So we'll see how it works. And uh, I'm looking forward to it, and I am hosting this year, which is something else that is new. For the past 2 years, I haven't been. The first year I hosted, but because we have 6 out of the 8 um, legacy. Well, we got legacy ambassadors, but Shero Coffee Club ambassadors, since we have 6 out of 8 attending, I want to make sure I give them as much love as I can because this is our big event for the Shero Coffee Club, Shero Uncorked. And speaking of that, speaking of Shero, let's get into the Shero of the week. Melissa Garrett, U.S. Navy, 1993 to 2004. And I will go ahead and read her narrative. And her narrative reads, my military experience was life-changing. I went to places and did things that my high school peers could only imagine doing. As with anything else, there were good times and bad. Overall, it was a very positive experience. Ultimately, it made me a stronger individual and gave me the tools to achieve my goals with intensity to reach success. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I think she fits right in with our topic of the day, purpose, because she definitely sounds like she's on purpose. I love that with intensity to reach success. That's important. What can I say about Melissa Garrett? I know her. It's not it. I know her. I've worked with her at US MEPCOM, and if you've been in the military, you know what MEPCOM is. We were at the MEPCOM headquarters. We worked together. Melissa is all about servant leadership, building a team, professionalism. Like she is the epitome of all the qualities of a person that you definitely want on your team. And I'm so glad that she was on mine while I was assigned to US MEPCOM, and I can't wait to see her Sunday. And a salute to your military service, and a salute to you for being a Shero Coffee Club ambassador, Melissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Now we're going to get into coffee facts. So I'm trying to remember in my head. So you know that when we talk about lately, a lot of our conversation around facts is like when it's where it's made, and it's been primarily talked about Africa, and we talked about South America. But did you know that coffee is made right here in North America? So I'm going to tell you the story. So in 1823, the governor of Oahu, that's in Hawaii, the governor of Oahu, I didn't give you the other two cities, did I? So in North America, we've got California, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii. So I'm going to talk about Hawaii today. So 1823, the governor of Oahu, he was on his way home from a trip in Europe. He stopped by Brazil, and in Brazil, he saw these beautiful red berries. I guess they told him it was from the coffee plant. So he took the coffee plant home. He took a clipping of it. He took it back. He let it grow on his farm. After about 5 years, there was another man. Now, this man was from he was a missionary. He was a missionary named Sam Ruggles. And when I heard that name, Sam Ruggles, I thought it was funny because in Chicago, I went to Avalon Park, which is on the south side of Chicago, and we played a school. We always played a school in basketball called Ruggles because I was on a cheerleading team. This is elementary school. We always played Ruggles Elementary School. So when I saw that name, it just brought some familiarity. But the good reverend's name was Sam Ruggles, and he thought, "Wow, why don't I take these berries because they're so beautiful? Take them back and 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 plant them for my district. That way, it can look really pretty. Just gardening and things like that, just making the district look good in the area, the aesthetics of it all." And turns out that Kona, that should be a dead giveaway. Kona is rich with that volcanic soil and minerals, which helps the coffee bean, the coffee plant to grow. So I know you've heard of Kona coffee. Well, that's how the story goes. And you know what? If I wasn't drinking Shiro, Kona coffee would be on my list. Kona coffee would be on my list. But yeah, coffee is grown in North America, California, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii, Kona, Hawaii. And that's a little bit about the story. So yeah, those are the coffee facts for the day. Now I want to get into this topic. Yes, are you ready? I sure am. Now let's get into it. Finding purpose. When I first wrote that, just finding purpose, I really felt that. But let me ask you, and I think the reason why I felt that is because I've talked to a lot of people, and that just seems to be one of the questions that keeps coming up. What's my purpose? How do I find my purpose? How do I get to purpose? So let me ask you, do you think you found your purpose? See, I think one of the reasons that so many people want to find this purpose, like is it in this cup? Is because like me, like you, everyone wants to feel some sort of significance. We all want to feel like we matter. We all want to feel like we've helped. We all want to feel like we've made a difference, right? Right. But I think the bigger question is, how do I go about doing that? What should you be doing, right? See, a lot of people, they want instructions, but greatness doesn't really come with instructions, does it? When you think about the great people, it's usually the path less taken. thought about it. When you think about greatness and purpose, purpose can also be manufactured. It definitely can be manufactured. And I'm gonna give you my reasoning behind I think how I think it can be manufactured. I've heard a lot of well, I don't know the proper term, so I say this not to offend, but Indian, I think they're all Asian. Indians are Asian, Asian Indians. A lot of comedians that when they tell jokes, they talk about their parents and their parents wanting them to become a doctor. And this is why I say it can be manufactured because guess what? If your parent tells you you want to become a doctor and you definitely don't want to be a doctor, but you become one anyway, well, what's not great and what's not purposeful about being a doctor? You're helping people, you're saving lives. You tell people you're a doctor, you climb right to the top of the respect pole. I mean, what's not cool about being a doctor? Because people really do see you as great. People really do see you as on purpose. But if that's not what you want, huh? Can you honestly say that you found your purpose? Now I want you to just take a minute and look at your own life. There are so many people working a job, suffering and longing for more. Hmm. And when you think about it too, finding purpose is really interesting because the way we look at it in America is not necessarily the way they would look at it in China because I mean they have motivational speakers in China. They have all of those things. But I think the when it comes to finding your purpose and motivation and all of those things, in China, it's more cultural values, huh? It's more respect for authority. It's more how do you contribute to a larger society, right? Whereas here in the good old US of A, you know, self-help industry, and all of that stuff, because that falls under that umbrella, it it's a $10 billion industry. So you're not contributing to the greater good. You're finding out how you can contribute to the greater good. It's a $10 billion industry. And so it's really focused on that individual, you as an individual, finding your purpose. And that's why lots of times, you can't find good mentorship unless you pay for it because everyone wants to get paid their worth. And if they can put valuable information in a course, in a book, on a podcast, and get paid for it, I mean, it is the free market. That's what we call capitalism. But back to finding your purpose. I kind of digressed. kind of digressed, but yeah. Back to finding your purpose. What I see is that people are three things when it comes to finding your purpose. They're in the driver's seat, they're a backseat driver, or they're driving Miss Daisy. Yeah, I said it. They're in the driver's seat, they're a backseat driver, or they are driving Miss Daisy. I mean, and I do believe that asking the question, what is your purpose, is a beautiful thing because it means you still have a longing to have, be, and do greater, right? So what's not marvelous about that? I mean, this is something that I know that should definitely be pursued. But before you start, let me tell you a few things that you probably are not considering. First, hear me closely. A man's single ejaculation releases 100 to 300 million sperm cells. Only one makes it in to form that zygote. Only one. Did you hear what I said? 100 to 300 million sperm cells, and only one reaching to form you, me, every human on the planet. So, what I'm saying is, in the world of human lottery, You're already a winner. You already have purpose. How many out of 100 to 300 million sperm cells? It's just you. It's just me. We are born winners. So before you start finding your purpose, I want you to know that you are already a winner. Number two is within this human experience, you're going to co create with all living things. And that's what you have to remember that no man is an island. Your purpose will involve others. You know, the part about I like working alone, and those are the nuances. I get it, but it will always, even if you do work alone, it will always be connected to something larger than you. It will always be connected to another living thing. Well, I'll see what I have to say about this in 10 years with AI advancing as rapidly as it is. But yeah, um, you are no man is an island. No man or woman is an island. So your purpose definitely will involve others. And then the last thing is your purpose is already niched inside of your experience. Now, having said that, what I find is most people they just don't want to do the work because it takes work. Just imagine you already got to go to work. You already have maybe the kids. You already maybe in school still thinking this is a part of your purpose or whatever. It's a lot. It takes a lot to live here in the United States. And if it takes a lot to living, it's just it it's a constant thing. And that's a good thing because it helps you to learn more about who you are, see how you can overcome problems and things like that. But basically, you gotta do the work, and you gotta know you have to do the work, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have the backseat driver and driving Mrs. Daisy. This sometimes can just be too much. See, I really believe that God gives us all the answers already. We already have all the answers we need. We just don't commit to doing the things we need to do in order to get the answers. And if we do commit to it, to doing it, we have to be consistent at it. And that's one of the greatest challenges. I mean, I would bet with one conversation with you, I can point out your purpose. So if I'm willing to bet that, imagine what you already know about yourself. You know yourself so well. What have you been longing to do? What are some of the things that you've been longing to do? What's the biggest problem that you've solved in your own life? I'm not even talking about helping anyone else. What's the biggest problem that you solved in your own life? You know, what's the one thing you keep saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I want to do it," but never cultivate it, never get to it. I mean, what experiences that you've had in your life that makes you say, "Wow, I feel like I'm on top of the world." Have you ever had one of those experiences before? Like, this is amazing. I'm talking about, uh, I'm talking about purpose. I'm talking about purpose. What keeps your attention? What can you do that actually, what are you doing or what's going on in your life that's actually keeping your attention? What do you get excited about? Those are the spaces that want you to start looking into. Those spaces that give you joy and not the suffering, because we can always talk about what's going wrong. We can always talk about what we're going through. We can always talk about how we were a victim to something. Where are the spaces that give you joy? Because in that you'll find your purpose, I do believe. And just remember, health and time right now, if you're healthy, you got a little time on your hand, or you can make a little time on your hand. Those are two of our greatest commodities. And it's truly that's truly a blessing because it allows you to treat life like an adventure. If you've got health, you've got time. Treat life like an adventure. Um, so find your purpose. I mean, take some time. Ask some of those questions that I asked in this episode. I mean, your joy is attached to your purpose. And the beauty of it is God didn't make us all the same. So we all have different purposes. And I'm not go don't go with what you see on TV. You got to sit down and really get into yourself, the inner person, the inner self. You've got to commune with yourself because I want you in the driver's seat. And oh, most of all, take God with you. I ain't playing about that. Take God with you. Make your purpose your joy. It can be done. It's hard to believe maybe because what you're going through now. But like I said, you can always think about the suffering and being a victim and what's not going right. I need you to think in a different way. What does that purpose look like? In the past month, in the past year, what are some of those things that have made you feel like you're on top of the world, giving you joy? That's what I want you to think about. Think about stuff when you were a kid, what you used to do, because that's going to help you get into your purpose. That's all. That's it. And as always, be brilliant, be you, be blessed. I will see you next Sunday. I will be celebrating to Shero Uncorked fourth annual. I'm so excited. You guys have a wonderful week. Don't forget your purpose. Bye.